Hello everybody, Natalia here, and I am super excited to bring you an Authortube tag today. This tag video was originally created by Cam over at Wolfshot Publishing. I will link his video down below. And then I got tagged by Clara over at clarareadsbooks. She is absolutely wonderful. Her videos make me laugh, they make me smile. They're incredibly upbeat, positive, and genuine. I definitely recommend you go and check her out if you haven't already. Her channel will be linked below as well. Alright, let's get started. The first question is, how did you find out about Authortube? I really started on YouTube just watching book review videos. So originally I was getting involved with BookTube. I wasn't making many book review videos. I think I have a couple of them, but I didn't enjoy them that much. I love to read and talk to people about the books that I read, but I'm not very good at keeping track of all my emotions while I'm reading a book and then remembering them in order to share in a video later. So I wasn't great at book review videos, but that's originally how I started getting into this community on YouTube. I started making writing videos. How long ago? I don't even know. 8 months, a year maybe was when I made my first writing videos. I have a video on self-publishing, on writing a synopsis, on how I outline, etc. So when I started making those videos was when I kind of started getting involved in Authortube. And then, of course, here in October 2016 with NaNoWriMo Prep is when I really started getting kind of a roll with this, making lots of videos and really interacting with the community. So October was the first time that I felt incredibly interested in and a part of the community, but I've been making Authortube videos for longer than that. The second question is, what genres do you write in? My favorite genre to write in is young adult. I'm not very good at contemporary. I've tried to write it and it doesn't interest me. So I definitely love young adult and new adult fantasy. Not high fantasy. I haven't written any of that yet, but fantasy, paranormal, kind of adventure, you know, hero's adventure, finding yourself kind of stories. But YA is my heart. It has been for a long time, and it probably will be for many, many years from now. Question 3 is, what is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and category? So my answer for what is your preferred writing tense is past tense. I think I've written in present tense a little bit, but I don't enjoy it very much. There is something to be said about it being very in the moment, which I like, but when I sit down to write, I tend to just naturally write in past tense. As for point of view, I used to only write in first person point of view. That was by far my favorite. So Highborn is in first person point of view, and then Way of Spears is in third person limited, and then the fairy novel that I'm working on right now is also third person limited. I found that I struggled to really get inside my character's head when writing in first person. And I don't know if that's because I didn't know my character well enough, so that's why I struggled with it. But I have definitely found that with third person point of view, I can interact with the world a bit more and with outside information a bit more. It's certainly not omniscient, so I can't know, well, I do know everything, but I can't share everything with the reader. But I do feel like third person limited gives me more freedom in storytelling than first person does. As for category, I've already mentioned this in the last question. I prefer YA, kind of as the umbrella term for what I write, and then within that I write fantasy, paranormal, hero's adventure, etc. Question 4, are you a plotter, a pantser, or a plantser? I really love that new word for a plotter-pantser hybrid mix. I am most specifically a plotter. I have mentioned this in a lot of videos, and if I don't plot things out extremely detailed, then I can't write. I really struggle. I give myself enough detail and enough plot points going into the story to know where I'm going, and it's like lily padding, so I know I'm on this side and I need to get to that side of the river, and here's all the lily pads that are going to take me there, but between those lily pads are the small details and character interactions that I don't know about, and I feel like those are things that you can't plot out. That's just what you have to discover in the writing process, but I am certainly a plotter 100%. I have to plot everything out. Question 5 is, what publishing company, literary agent, and or printing company are you represented by or do you use? I am a self-published author, and I used CreateSpace for both of my first books, Highborn and Way of Spears. I really do like how easy CreateSpace is to use. I haven't had any problems with it, and when I have contacted customer service, they've been extremely quick, efficient, and friendly. The only problem I have had with CreateSpace, and this definitely is frustrating, is I will order, this has happened twice, I have ordered a large box of books, 12 to 14 books at a time, and when they came into me, the covers were printed incorrectly. So they weren't printed straight up and down like they should have been. They were slightly skewed on the printer, so it left like a white mark around the border of the book that I thought looked absolutely horrendous. It was really ugly. It looked really unprofessional. But when I contacted CreateSpace, they let me send all those books back, and then they sent me a new box of books for free, which is awesome, and I really appreciated it. Granted, the new box that they sent me had 6 books that were printed correctly and 6 books that were printed incorrectly, so it happened again, and that is frustrating to me. If I was somebody that was working there and I saw a book printed the way that mine had been printed, all sideways with the white marks around the edge, I would know that that was wrong and needed to be redone. But mine just got shipped to me anyway, so that is my one complaint about ordering physical copies from CreateSpace. Number six is, what Authortube related videos can we expect to see on your channel? Definitely NaNoWriMo. I loved filming videos for Nano, but it is December now, so we're going to have to wait another year until I'm making those Nano videos again. But I will definitely be making videos about my writing process. I love to watch videos about how other authors write. Not only has it helped me build my own process and find what works best for me, but it's just really fun for me to hear about how other authors work. I think in general, authors are very solitary creatures. We work by ourselves a lot, and it can be a bit of a mysterious work process, which is why I love watching videos about other authors' writing processes. So you can definitely be expecting that from me. As I am writing and editing my fairy novel, you can expect to see lots of how-to edit videos. I will be making a video about how I create book covers. I'm really into graphic design, and I spent a few years, quite a few years actually, making photo manipulations and digital paintings on Photoshop, and I even was doing some commissions and making a little bit of money off of it. So I do know my way around Photoshop, which makes it a lot easier to get a cover that I really love for my books. So you can expect those. I may be giving you a walkthrough on my Scrivener program, because now that I wrote my initial 50,000 words in Microsoft Word, I have switched over to Scrivener, and I am using that for more detailed character sketches, setting descriptions, just an overall deeper understanding of my work, whereas Microsoft Word was just to get everything out, kind of all the mess in my head, onto my computer program so I could sift through it. But now I am ready to start really cleaning it up, so I would love to make a Scrivener video for you. I just have to figure out how to record my screen. I'm using a Mac to record these videos, and I think it's easy to record your screen on a Mac, but I don't know how to do it on my laptop, which is a PC. So I have to look into that, and if anybody knows or can send me a link to a video or a blog that can explain to me how I can just record my screen on a Lenovo laptop, please let me know, because that would be really helpful. Number 7 is, when did you start writing? And I have been writing for a long time. I remember even when I was in elementary school, I would write, and I used to receive these things called Kiwi Awards. And we would do it at the end of every year, and 2 students from every class would be rewarded a Kiwi Award, which was just a reward for a great piece of writing. And I have a bunch of Kiwi Awards, so I know that I was writing a lot and loving to write when I was in elementary school. But when I can remember starting to take it seriously and kind of honing my craft was in 8th grade. I was part of a lot of, like, this sounds so nerdy, but I loved it. I was part of a bunch of text-based role-playing forums, so I would have characters and then write stories about them with a bunch of other people. And I started doing that in 8th grade, and I did that up through my freshman year of college, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I did that for like 6 years. I was part of text-based role-playing games, and I was obsessed with them. I loved them, and it taught me a lot about writing. Everybody on the forums would write really differently, and there were some people that would write extremely detailed with lots of beautiful language, but I thought, this is getting me nowhere. This is just lots of pretty language, flowery language. Like, I don't need that. And then there were some people that put in no detail. I was like, this is so boring. I don't want that either. So as I was reading a lot of different people's writing, I was honing my own. And it really helped lead me to where I am now. Honestly, I have those forums to thank for really getting me started on this writing process. And I remember this. Oh my gosh. If any of you remember Neopets, that website, Neopets, they had forums and they had one little forum where you could do role play and you could only type like 300 words per post or something, but that is what got me started. I was really into Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron back then, and I was really into Bambi, like the Disney Bambi, and I used to use Bambi and Spirit as my characters on those forums. Such a big nerd, honestly. Oh my gosh, all of my numbers got screwed up, so I missed one. I'm going back to question 5, which is not what I told you it was. Question 5 is actually, are you published, self-published, or soon to be published? I am a self-published author. I really love having control of all my work. I have control over when it's published, how it's published, interior design, cover design, and I really love that. Granted, self-publishing is still, I feel like it's still getting going. There's a lot of people that are doing it right now and it's getting more popular, but it's still one of those things that a lot of people that are not within our kind of writer and reader realm understand. When I tell people I'm self-published, they don't know what that means, or they think I'm self-published because no traditional publishing house wants my work, which isn't necessarily true. I've never tried to get a literary agent. I've never tried to publish through any traditional publishing houses. That's something that I definitely might want to do in the future. Who knows where I'll go with that, but I am definitely self-published as of now, and I am loving it. All right, question 9. I think I'm back on track now. Maybe you should just ignore all these numbers. But question 9 is, what is the first story you ever wrote? And that's a struggle for me. Like I said, I was doing a lot of role-playing, so it's like it wasn't stories that I was writing necessarily. I would write individual posts with other people, and that would compile, you know, a short story in and of itself. But I can't remember writing an actual story beginning to end until my freshman year of college, which is when I finished the original version of Highborn, which is extremely different than the published version of it. I don't think I was one of those kids that like sat around and wrote short stories in my notebooks when I was growing up. I didn't do that. I wanted to. I remember starting a lot, but I didn't ever finish them. So the first full-length story that I can remember writing was the original version of Highborn. Question 10 is, which authors have inspired your writing the most? Oh my goodness. Well, I have to say Stephenie Meyer, because I did not love reading until I discovered the Twilight books. I mean, when I was growing up, I was always reading. Always, always, always reading. But I didn't have the passion for it. I didn't have the like emotional connection with reading that I have now until I read Twilight. Because when I read that book, I experienced for the first time the way it felt to be so connected to a story and so connected to the characters you were reading about. I still clearly remember, I think I was in 7th grade maybe, when I read Twilight, 7th or 8th grade, and I remember reading a section about Alice Cullen and how quiet she is and how she can just creep about so silently. And I literally remember trying to creep down my stairs to get to the computer in the middle of the night, and I was like, I can channel my inner Alice Cullen and just creep silently down these stairs. And I remember them creaking all the way down, and I was so frustrated because I was like, damn it, I am not a vampire. I don't have vampire skills. That was kind of off topic. But anyway, that goes to show that Twilight was the first book that I was truly obsessed with. I fell in love with it. And after reading that and discovering the young adult genre, that is what kind of sucked me in, and that's what I've been in ever since. But other than Stephenie Meyer, who else do I enjoy? I really enjoy Maggie Stiefvater. She is the first author that I ever met. I went to her Raven King tour and I got to talk to her about Shakespeare, and she signed my books, and it was so exciting. I love Maggie's style of writing, so she definitely inspires me. Now, the one other author that I read rather recently, I read her in a women's literature class in my final semester of college. Her name is, I think I can pronounce this correctly, Arundhati Roy, and she wrote The God of Small Things, and this book is phenomenal. Even in the first chapter, if you don't want to buy the book, if you can find like a free sample of an ebook somewhere and just read the first chapter, the detail and the imagery she puts into her work is amazing. And after reading that, I thought, this is how I want to write my details. This is how I want to paint a picture for my readers. So she is definitely somebody that when it comes to, creating an immersive world for the reader to be in and to be sucked into, she inspires me. She is amazing. If you have not read The God of Small Things, I absolutely encourage you to go read it. Number 11 is, do you schedule your writing sessions or do you just write when you have the time? You know that I am a plotter. I am somebody that has a bullet journal. I love to be very organized and plan things out, so I definitely like having routine writing time. Granted, right now, I don't have that, and it's very frustrating to me. When I was writing Way of Spears, I had a very strict schedule that I stuck to every single day. Granted, the reason I think that was so easy for me is because I lived alone and I had the same schedule every single day. So I was able to get up every morning. I would get up early and I would write. I would go outside and take care of the animals on the farm where I lived. I would come back inside and write some more, and then my writing would be done for the day every single morning. But I'm no longer living alone. I am now surrounded by family all the time, so that really throws off my writing schedule. I don't have my own desk anymore. I used to have a beautiful standing desk in my own tiny home that I would write at, and I would have all my research there. I don't even have that now, so I just carry my laptop around and sit down and write where I can, and that's not good for me. So it is definitely frustrating that I don't have that routine right now. And I don't know if it's just excuses saying, oh, my life, I'm kind of back and forth. I don't have one solid home right now where I'm staying, so that is affecting my writing. And I'm really hoping that here in the future, I can get a place where I have my desk, I have all my research, and I know that when I sit down there, it is time to work, and I work at the same time every single day. That works the best for me. I don't have that right now, but I certainly hope that I have that soon. Question 12 is, do you type on a computer, typewriter, write everything out by hand, or use a blend of those? And where do you write in general? I definitely write on my laptop. I prefer to write on my desktop because it has a nice large keyboard and a big screen. But my desktop doesn't currently have Scrivener on it, so that's why I'm using my laptop. Plus, I can carry my laptop around with me and write wherever I am, so that's helpful when I'm not at home in front of my desktop, which has to stay there where it's hooked up. So right now, I'm writing on a laptop. I will sometimes write by hand if I'm feeling really inspired. Let's say I go outside to a park or I'm camping, then I will definitely have a journal with me where I'm writing by hand just to have that outlet. But that's not something that works for long passages or long writing sessions for me. That's just something to sit down, jot some things down, write a paragraph or two to get all those thoughts out of my head. I cannot write a story. That was my mom. See what I mean by family constantly surrounding me? So if I was writing right now, that would have just distracted me from what I was doing. I mean, it distracted me from what I was saying. What was I even talking about? Oh, if I write like longhand. So no, typing on a computer right now. Do I always work in the same place? I would like to work in the same place. When I was living alone, I always worked at my desk or at my university's library, like between classes. So I always had the same place where I was working, and that works really well for me. I like to have that one place where I'm constantly at that just gets me in the writing mood. It's like I know that when I'm there, I'm supposed to be writing, but I don't have that right now. So I sit down sometimes for an hour, write 1,000 words and then I don't write again for 3 days because I don't have a routine, and it is so frustrating. Question 13 is, what are you looking forward to most now that you are a part of Authortube? Honestly, the community. I am so blown away by all of the other authors and YouTubers that I have been talking with. We have been exchanging messages and videos, and I'm loving this. When I put up a video and then I instantly get feedback and people talking to me, and I know who these people are because I'm watching their videos, like, it is such an amazing feeling, and I didn't think I would ever get to this point with my YouTube channel. It was so small for so long until my nano prep videos started coming out that I never thought I would be making friends on YouTube. I never thought I would be, you know, part of this Authortube community, and I am so excited that I am part of it now, and I'm just going to continue diving in, doing as much as I can, interacting with everybody out there. I mean, this is the first tag video that I've actually been tagged for. I usually have to just choose my tag videos because I didn't have any friends to play tag with. But I've been tagged by this one. Clara, thank you so much. I'm really excited about this, and now I get to tag some of my YouTube buddies as well. So here we go. All right, I am going to tag Kelsey Lee at The Scribbled Bookcase. All right, next up I am tagging Tamara Woods over at Pen Paper Pad. The third person I'm tagging is Burgess Taylor. There are also a few of you out there that I would really like to see videos from. I don't know if you're comfortable uploading videos on your channel, but if you are, I would love to see you do this tag. And some of you are Jon Gibson, Kenzie Staley, Angry Watermelon, and I hope I pronounced this right, Ivizory? Ivizory. I hope I said that correctly. Anyway, I know that some of you don't make videos, but if you want to start making videos, I'd love to see this Authortube tag. I've had a really, really good time with it. These questions were wonderful. I really enjoyed just sitting here and chatting with you about this, which is why I would love to see your videos as well. So that is all the questions, and I've also tagged, what is that, like 7 people? But anybody that sees this video that I haven't already tagged, you can definitely take part in this. Also make sure to watch the videos that I link down below, especially over at Clara Reads Books. Hers is absolutely wonderful. I have had a really good time with this. I hope to be uploading more regularly now that it is December and NaNoWriMo is over and we can relax a little bit. Plus, I just miss you guys. I miss filming videos every few days and chatting with you and communicating and all of that really good stuff. So, alright, anyway, I hope to see you again soon, and thank you so much for watching. Alright, bye!